Alan Rolls, how are we doing?
Hi mate, yeah, good, thank you.
Good stuff. Obvious first question then, do you know where you're at with squad-wise and everything?
Yeah, we're good. We've got as put out, we've got an 18-man squad, so we're good.
What's it been like this week? Obviously, last week was really difficult for you in terms of everything that was going on behind the scenes. Has this week been any easier?
Well, it's not a normal week, but it's more normal than it's been. So, as always, the lads, we get through it with having a bit of banter and making sure we enjoy ourselves. So, we've had a good week.
The actual game itself, obviously they're struggling a bit themselves out there. How important is it to hopefully sort of kick on now?
Yeah, obviously both sides have not got a win today, so in that respect, it's all set up for a good game. So they've been challenging in every game, so they're a good team. Obviously, their problems are very much different than ours, but nevertheless, I've got respect for the selection issues they've had through injuries, etc. But that's the challenge of coaching, So yeah. But we're looking forward to it. It'll be a difficult challenge. They're a good team. It's well documented. They've been, I think, winning every game at half time. So we'll have to be good, obviously.
It's fine for me before I pass you on. Have you had any have you spoke to the new ownership group yet all this week? Has there been any further developments on that? Have you had any more dialogue with them?
I'm just cracking on with coaching. It's hard enough as it is. So I'll leave that to the other people.
No, just to say, are you okay, Paul? Is everything? You had an operation, didn't you, as well? Is that everything go well with that?
That sounded like a Meghan Markle moment then.
A what?
A Meghan Markle. She said that.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
right.
I'm okay, Dave. Thanks. I had an operation on. I've had both shoulders done. One in January and then one on match day for the Bradford game. So, but I feel okay. I feel good. A bit drowsy on match day, but probably a good thing, I think, sometimes. But no, I'm good. Thanks, Dave. Actually, very good. Thank you.
Good. And the 18 you picked, is everyone fit? Because obviously, last week not everyone was fit. So is that 18? Is everyone fit there?
Everyone's fit. So we've got 18 players who are all fit and ready to play.
Smashing. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Oh, hi, Dave. It's Martin here. I think I'm next on the list.
Hiya, Martin.
Yeah, can I just check on the guys who are not in the 18-man squad? Can I just have an update on your injury situation? Because it's a bit difficult to keep abreast of, everything at the moment.
It's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult for me, Martin, as well, to be honest. Unless you had a list here, I've got that many players, some who can't, some who can, some can't because they're injured, some can't because of the cap space. So I think probably get Eric, send you a printed copy or something, but the list is too long and complicated for me to rhyme off now. I'll definitely make mistakes, and I'd rather not say something that's incorrect. I'd rather be accurate for you, mate.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. Well, I'll certainly do that, and it'll be interesting. Just looking so far at the season, the way that it's gone, it's not all been bad, has it? But obviously you've not got any points yet. Are you getting a bit cheesed off with people sort of sympathising with you in a way? Because, everybody's sort of saying, you're doing it tough, and clearly you are. But at some point, you must feel like sort of, you just want a response that's going to shut everybody up, I suppose.
Well, the only response will be when we're out of measures and we're up and we've done what we need to do as a club. So that's on us. So I'm not, and I don't read anything. So I'm not sure if we're getting sympathy or not. I wouldn't know. I can only take your word for that. And until I read it for myself, then I don't know. So.
Well, you are from me anyway.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. However. Yeah, it's, we fully understand as a playing group and a coaching group that we can only deal with the cards that we're dealt, and so we've got commitments to uphold, and we've got to do what we've got to do. So it's difficult and challenging, as been documented. But this week it's just more important for us and the club to just talk about rugby sometimes as well, because regurgitating the same story over and over again, and answering the same questions. I guess it's on us to solve them problems, but for us and for me as a coach, I just want to concentrate on the rugby.
And can I just ask you finally, obviously you've said already you've not spoken to the new owners and so on, but are you confident that things are going to improve and that do you have enough confidence personally to believe that at some point the salary cap situation is going to be lifted and that you'll be able to then pick your strongest side and perhaps even recruit somebody?
Well,
because obviously you're losing key players, aren't you?
Yeah.
And they will need to be replaced in some way.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've got to have that confidence, otherwise, it'd be a waste of time. So, I'm like everybody else. It's fingers crossed, and like when I said I'm not speaking to the owners, I've spoke to the owners this week, but in general chat, I'm not having in-depth meetings. I'm busy myself, so I'm not there to sit around a board table and ask them, difficult questions. That's for somebody else, and I believe that's happening, left, right, and centre. So. So my belief is that you just keep going until you're told otherwise, and it's a simple fact. My obligation, as I've always said, is to my players, so I'll be the last man standing in that respect. My obligation's to them players, so as long as they're putting the shirt on and doing the best, then I won't let them down, and I know they won't let me down. So it's very simple for me.
So that was the last question, but there is just one more. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're right.
Just a reaction to the Challenge Cup draw, Paul.
Yeah.
Catalan's away. Any thoughts about that?
You always want a home draw. And so Catalan away in that respect is not a good draw because we're away from home. But every draw's tough. There weren't an easy route. There's not an easy route. That's why it's such a prestigious cup. It's a difficult cup that gets to the better teams real quickly. So there's 8 Super League teams and 8 teams who all want to win it. So it's a difficult draw, but I would have said that whoever we played. But it's an exciting challenge. We're in a quarter-final. You've got to get excited about quarter-finals. We're in a quarter-final, last 8 of a prestigious competition, and we're excited about it. So that's the overriding emotion that I've got.
Okay, mate. Good luck at the weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Thursday night, in fact.
Tomorrow.
Cheers, then.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, Paul, you okay?
Hiya, Rob. Good, mate.
Congratulations on the win against Bradford in the Challenge Cup. You must have been proud of your players' efforts with all the circumstances involved.
Always, mate. Always. Not just on the weekend, but during the week. But it was nice to see them look like they was enjoying themselves a little bit. And even the old boys there who played 80 minutes, Ellie and Jack, we probably could have given them a rest for 5 minutes at the end, but it almost seemed unfair. You're going to let them do 75, you might as well let them do 80. So they were great. Jaden, Ryan were great. I thought they added the stardust to what we needed. There was some really good performances. Great to see Ethan Ryan back. It was good to just actually have some fun and concentrate on rugby. It was good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Chris Hill and Jack Armour, like you say, doing 80 minutes. How do you sort of manage that now? Because obviously it's a short turnaround.
Yeah.
Doing such a long sort of period in the game. I mean, do you think they'll be ready for Thursday?
Yeah, they might get only 75 this week, Rob, so I'll be careful.
Yeah, having a small playing group to choose from because of obviously restrictions and injuries can be difficult. Do players playing longer minutes help get match fit quicker, or is it a sort of a problem at the back end, if you know what I mean? Because obviously they'll be getting fitter, but they'll be obviously not.
Well, yeah, we've had the WD-40 out this week, Rob, put it that way, so it's not ideal, is it? Your middles playing 80 minutes and middles that are at the other ends of the age scale. So, but again, you deal, play with the cards you dealt, and I can't, commend them 2 boys enough. They were fantastic, as was the rest of the group. So we'll do what we need to do every week. We'll just do what we need to do.
Yeah, you brought in Chris Hill, Justin Singari, already had Joe Bullock and Brad Singleton in the squad. Are you pleased with what they've brought to the team so far? Yeah,
they've all been great, So we've got a good group. We always have a good group here. We don't We don't have any bad lads. It's a good group, so and it always is, and that's policed inwardly by the other players, you know. So they look after that, and they're a good group, like I said.
Obviously, with the departure of Mark Sneed, how does that affect Rowley ball? Obviously, are you looking to sort of change your style now for more running game, or is it the same as ever was, but with just different individuals? We've just lost runner-up to the Man of Steel, so it affects, probably the amount of 40-20s, 20-40s, kicking game, tries scored, all that. It's a huge, we can't disguise the fact that it's a huge, not saying problem, but it's a huge miss for us. But more importantly, like any player leaving, I think it's the character and the person that they are. We'll miss him, so we're missing being in the team room and his influence off the pitch as much as on it. But he's been a great pro for us, and we wish him nothing but the best, and that's the way it is. That's rugby, that's sport. But more importantly, that's life. He's a good lad, first and foremost. He's got a great family, and we'll miss him, and we'll miss his little lad Maximus rocking up at training as well. Yeah, final one from me. Huddersfield Thursday will be a tough game. Obviously confident going into it after the Challenge Cup win. Again, we're always confident. We always walk tall, but it's a tough encounter. We're playing in Super League. There is no easy games. And so Huddersfield, like we said earlier, they've been in every game they've played. And they're not far off. Good signing this week in Niall Levels, so they've strengthened, which is useful for them. And like I said, they're always tough and uncompromising. Huddersfield, they always nail the markers, if you like, the stats. They're always up there. They build pressure. They don't make many mistakes, so they really squeeze the life out of you. And anything you get from Huddersfield, you've got to earn that, and that's what we intend doing. Brilliant. Thanks for talking to us, Paul, and good luck.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, hi, Paul. How you doing? You all right?
Hiya, mate.
Just a quick one on Asa Masters and Chris Hill obviously coming up against the former side. Yeah. What have you made of how they've done and how they've settled in? I know it's in challenging circumstances at times, but how have they done from your point of view?
I think they've been great. Both of them have been great. They've both probably become leaders in the group, which is good. Obviously, Illy is so experienced. What he's had has been immense on and off the field. And Eason is probably a little bit more of a quiet achiever, but he's had a different backline every week, so it's been challenging for him in a football sense. But I think he certainly in offence he's had some real quality. But I do think there's a lot more to come from Eason. And like I say, he only did 80 minutes of quality last week, so that speaks for itself. So just both good lads. Again, I'll always come back to that. They're both good lads, and the team room's a better place with them too, innit?
Do you feel like that first win could really kickstart things? Are you seeing him? The camaraderie has obviously always been there, as you spoke to us about, but the combination play, the work on the training ground is getting closer to going to results on the pitch now.
I don't think it was a polished performance, and we never thought it would be, but the effort was there. It always is there, and probably against a championship team, we've got enough quality in the side, to get through, and that's what we did. It was a tough game, really tough. Bradford were great, and they had their opportunities, but we found a way to win. And like I said before, the lads looked like they enjoyed themselves. I wouldn't say it's going to. It's not a switch where everything's all right now in terms of we're suddenly playing like the Harlem Globetrotters and fast free flowing rugby, but it was a moment that we enjoyed ourselves. We played, we dropped our shoulders, and we did what we're paid to do, and enjoyed playing rugby with one another. So we've had a good week's training. He's probably the best preparation we could have, regardless of the game. We've been taking every day as it comes, every week as it comes. But this week in isolation has been a good week. So we've prepped well, and we've got a strong 18 out.
That's good to hear. And just finally, anyone who's not involved, obviously after the departure of Mark Sneed, could there be anyone else leaving in the near future?
Again, every day as it comes, so we'll just crack on with our game first, and if that occupies my mind, then it's not an healthy position for me to be in. I need to focus on the job in hand.
Good luck. Thanks for your time, Paul.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Paul. Just a quick one. Just want to ask about Chris Hankinson. Obviously, went off injured the other day. How's he getting on?
Yeah, he done a bit of damage to his AC, so we're just waiting a little bit longer to see what the outcome is of that. It's settled quite well actually, so not where I think the initial fears first were. It looked pretty bad, but I think it's a lot better than first feared, and that might be a quick turnaround with a bit of luck.
And obviously, with you naming smaller squads, players doing big minutes, is player welfare becoming a fear of yours now? Yeah,
it's always a fear, but again, you can only play 18 players, I guess, now with the head injury thing. So we've got 18. So I'm not complaining about anything. So welfare's not an issue. We've got the same number of players that they'll have stripped off. So there's no dramas.
Thanks, pal.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Rose, mate. How are you, well?
Hiya, mate.
Obviously, I think the old saying that winning solves everything. That might not be the situation here, but just how much of a relieving win was that last week?
It just kept us in the cup. That's what it did. It put us in a quarter-final, so it's a big game. We were playing to get a spot in a quarter-final of the most prestigious cup that has been in the history of the sport. So in isolation, it was a massive game against a side that are really good, really well coached, and full of Super League experience. And it was a really tough challenge. And like I say, huge credit to Bradford. I thought they were great, but our boys found a way. When they were put under pressure as well, which was important, we were put under a lot of pressure. We went in behind, I think, and so they remained calm, which I thought was a really telling sign of the mentality of our players, that we was able to remain calm, patient and confident that we'd come through the other side, and we did. So it's just in isolation. It's not like I say, it's not a light switch moment. It's just in isolation. It put us in a quarter-final of the cup, which is fantastic.
When we spoke to Kurt after the game, he was saying that you sort of didn't know what you were going to face on Monday. What have you faced? What's this week look like so far?
Just a normal week, to be fair. We've just been turning up training, and here we are ready to prepare for a game. So it's been a good week.
And Kurt also said that you didn't know what it looked like in terms of players leaving the club. Nene, Tim Laffey, is there any update on either of those two?
No update, mate.